before I effortlessly quit smoking, I found out that it was a grounding practice. But many different type of addictions or activities could offer grounding. So why smoking? What's the connection with smoking? So smoking, of course, goes into the lungs. And yeah, it's kind of like, you get dirty air in, there's the clouds inside. And once I had this kind of story that I was sharing with my friend, how I felt like I just had so much moist and clouds inside, in a sense, that I didn't completely know about traditional Chinese medicine yet. So this is also kind of putting understanding as part of these intuitive storytellings that I would have about myself, about my own beingness, basically. So I shared that I had these clouds inside, and it was kind of connected to worry. That was the initial story about it. It was worrying. I was like, actually, I only recently found out I'm a structural overthinker, a structural worrier, and not a warrior, a worrier. I was a worrier. I worried all the time. But it was masked. So I didn't know that I was a warrior. Jesus, my Dutch accent. I didn't know I worried all the time. So that was, kind of with grace and just a lot of joy. I brought this up because, okay, now I realize I think and overthink, and then I think some more and about what I can bring. My backpack was huge because of all these extra things that I was bringing just in case of this. And that was the physical manifestation of it. The non-physical manifestation was just me having filled all the space of my beingness, because I was trying to think in the future about potential situations, about how people might respond, what I would say back, to kind of how to bring peace back into the system. If like, you're probably also like, that's a lot. That's why. Oh. So then back to this analogy of having this cloud of worry. And then, I come from environmental science. So this thinking about the natural systems, how I saw it was that of kind of in my atmosphere, I had vaporized water vapor just being there. And, from the sun heating up the lakes, you get water vapor, and then it condenses again, and then the rain falls. So I feel inside of me, perhaps in you too, but inside of me, I felt this, okay, I have a little fire, just a little fire. So this little fire is, condensing and making all these clouds and stuff like that. But the fire isn't big enough to really evaporate it and get the system going and just have this continuation, this circulation of this flow. So then I thought, okay, either I need to, amp up this fire, get the fire burning more to get this flow going, or, alternatively, there is another way, I guess. No, not I guess, I actually tried it. Another way somehow is to really get the cloud empty. And as simple as it really is symbolic, a cloud getting rained down, a person crying. So I cried a lot. I cried a lot. And I will even tell you that I probably cried for 1 full year. I cried for 1 full year. And then it was kind of like a buffer period of, let's say, 2 years. I cried for 2 years. I cried full for 1 year. And then having to tell the people closest to me around me, even when they wanted to consolidate me, no, console me, bring solace, that I didn't know what the crying was for. And that was frustrating to them. I was okay with it most times. It was also a little bit frustrating to me because, yeah, am I broken? Is something wrong? Why am I crying? And then I'm, creating these stories. Oh, yeah, of course, I've had an abortion. Oh, of course, I've lost people in my life. Oh, of course, I've had heartbreak. Oh, of course, these and these things. But to be honest, I knew I didn't know. There was just a grief. There was this grief, and I can go here because now I know that grief is with the lungs, and grief is also actually the connection that I felt was why smoking became my proxy, my teacher of the addiction of grounding, because yeah, I had to face it, or not even mentally, but I had to experience it and I had to let it out. And here comes the layer that is just so hard to mentalize, or actually probably not even possible. It's just that when you allow for the possibility that, I might have grief of lives that aren't my own in this exact body, past life grievances, societal grievances, future grievances, past grievances, anything is possible. And because, now I've given it a name, but yeah, in that moment I just felt it. And I am really, really glad that somehow I had this feeling of I need to get myself into a space where I can allow myself to, I don't know, in that moment in time I was thinking about I need to be able to sound, to not to be autonomous, to not take anybody into account, no neighbors and stuff like that, and or roommates or stuff like that. So I did. So I got myself the space, and that's why I cried for a year. And then I got a boyfriend. So then, I was still crying, and I was like, "Why are you here? Like, what are you doing here?" Which, to be very honest, it really, really, really helped me. It really helped me get into another layer of, not opening up to myself, where I don't know. Understand how everything works, but somehow I felt that I was constricting myself and not allowing fully. So having him there added a layer of complexity, but because I was also trying to, have him not feel bad, and when he would feel frustrated or feel like he couldn't be there for me, and yeah, that complexity, but also that this feeling of, fuck, am I gonna lose myself? Oh, I don't know if YouTube is gonna censor me, but oh my god, am I gonna lose myself in all of these tears? Am I gonna drown, I guess, to stay in the analogy of water? Am I gonna drown? So because he was there, sometimes it really helped me to get into a deeper layer. Somehow probably the question of, if I'm crying all the time and I'm not a pleasant person to be around, or I don't even want to be around people right now, am I still gonna be loved? Am I still gonna be loved? And because he was there and he was, directly or indirectly showing me that, I could get through that stuff, through the cloud, and let the sun come out again. Sun come out again. Yeah, so I feel like I'm at the other side of it now, so that's why I can talk about it in such a way. But wow, to create the space, give myself the permission to cry and don't know why. I don't know why I cry, but I cry. My life is great and I cry. I don't know why. Yeah, so that was a huge relief. Huge. And that's it.